So thank you so much for the feedback on my videos that I posted. I'm going to continue doing that. And hopefully, we're going to get through this, time of uncertainty and COVID-19, and we are going to be able to survive and get out of this stronger, right? This is what I want. I want to help us all get a little more stronger and resilient during this time. That's a perfect time for that. So again, as a reminder to everybody, I am not a licensed psychotherapist. I'm not a psychologist. I am a person who has a master's in psychology. I'm working towards a degree in clinical psychology, and I am doing a specialization in health psychology. So with that said, I am not offering therapy. If you are having some serious emotional issues, I would say, the best thing to do is to contact a psychotherapist, a psychologist, an MFT, a social worker who is licensed, anybody that's working under a licensed psychologist or a licensed therapist, counselor professional. And that's that. But there are some tools that I can teach you that will help you, while you are dealing with all this emotional trouble. There's a lot of stuff that actually happens that is, it's hard to deal with. Even if you have a therapist, sometimes you can still see all of those symptoms, all of those reactions come up. So some of the reactions that we see, it's what I call the physiological expressions of anxiety, panic attack, or stress and pain. What are those symptoms and expressions that we see? So once, we notice a shift that we are a little bit more stressed out, what do we see is that the body is changing. So as I said, heart races, blood pressure goes up, there's a change in the blood vessels, and it constrains more blood to the torso. So you all actually notice more cold extremities. Some people will notice more sweaty hands. So this is all of the stuff that changes in the body. And many times the brain will anticipate something before we can cognitively think about, oh, that's a trigger. Sometimes I have patients who told me, more than one, that, they have a history of panic attacks. And then, they went to the gym and exercising, heart is, racing up. And the brain is interpreting that as I'm having a panic attack. So there's the system in the body that is going to get a message from your body to your brain saying it's time to freak out, or the brain perceives something and sends the message down to the body. So these two systems work together. So why am I saying this? It's because there are things that happen in our lives and the way we reacted at a certain point in life, and the brain learns how to react to things a certain way. So there's a saying in neuroscience that says neurons that fire together wire together. I remember, me and my cohort at the PhD program, the first one that was in before I transferred, and we kind of had a kick out of that. The neurons that fire together wire together, because it's true. Like if we have neurons going together, right? So let's say you were bitten by a dog when you were a kid, and the neurons at that time associated that fear that you felt, that pain, that feeling of feeling insecure with the bite of the dog. So at that point, your brain associated dog with fear and danger. And anytime that you see a dog, your body's going to react. And I even tell my patients, it's like, it's interesting. Like sometimes intellectually, you're not really getting, anxious about something, but the body is reacting. You're just like, what is that? So that is your brain that has learned how to react to something. It went to automatic mode. Every time that you are doing a certain thing, your brain anticipates that that's going to happen. And it just, starts reacting ahead of you just to save you, to protect you, right? So what is the goal of biofeedback and the slow-paced breathing? The way I want to teach you is that the breathing will help you manage, many times control, what the body is doing in response to that stressor, to that anxiety, right? Meaning the moment that you start slowing down the breathing, the tendency is for the heart rate to slow down and the body to kind of regulate. And then hopefully, if you are able to catch it before it's like too high, you will be able to get, your body down. And then that fight or flight mode comes down eventually. So the pace breathing helps that. So I said that the other videos, what you teach in the self is distress tolerance, but you are teaching distress tolerance to your brain. You are teaching your brain that, wait a minute, I see a dog right now, and I don't have to be all anxious about it, and I don't have to like being around the dog. So by breathing through that, you are teaching a new set of neurons, a new experience, meaning seeing a dog does not mean that I get in a panic attack mode. Seeing a dog means I have a choice between I'm going to control it or I'm going to allow this, to go all into a panic attack. So the breathing helps you rewire your brain, and then you create a new experience with the new type of connection and rewiring in the brain, right? Now, easier said than done, right? Because what is connecting both? It's the type of thoughts you have in your mind. So if every time that you have a thought, you see a dog, you are going to nurture those thoughts. Oh, it's a dog. Oh, this is horrible. I don't want to be with dogs. If I go close to that dog, I'm going to have a panic attack. I don't want to do that. And then what you're doing, you are, fueling more of that belief system. You're fueling more of what the brain is anticipating and interpreting as, okay, that's dangerous. I need to, get you in the fight or flight mode. And then you go through the whole process of feeling, very anxious. So what you do is you have to address the thoughts, right? And that's where it gets a little trickier. And there's just like a line that I want to just make sure to say, what I kept saying. I'm not a licensed psychologist. I am certified as biofeedback therapist. I'm a psychologist in training. So to dive deep into the thought process, I would say it's better that you do this with a therapist that is licensed or it's supervised by a licensed therapist. But I can give you some tools that help you deal with that, because even to think about dealing with those things can be stressful, right? So the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to answer a question that I had that it's related to what I'm saying now. All right. So I'll see you soon.